Well, of course, the main priority is twofold: to have the cash flow cover the interest payments, to cover the amortization, for you not to breach any covenant of ICR or DSCR, and the asset is simply the security. We obviously want to work together. We don't want to ever be in a position that we ever have to enforce the security. So it is the cash flow we're looking on, and the asset we're only looking on as collateral.
But as that, to divide it, you are more to asset-based lending, taking the asset as security, and not just taking the cash flow as your certainty.
Have you ever financed a purchase of some land or a building without giving a mortgage on it?
Not a property, but
we did several business.
We did several business where for example, where the institution was in the second rank or third rank. So they did not put all the security on the asset, but on the cash flow and the potential cash flow.
So who would be in the first ranking security in that instance?
Yes, they structured the deal. I don't know exactly, but I know for sure that
is there anything you did?
Sorry.
If they did it, so is there anything?
Yeah, we are speaking here. So, okay, I think I don't want to be. I don't.
Nor do I. Let's start again.
So maybe we should go on and find another institution. So we are. We try to build a partnership.
We have the liquidity available. You should always keep the option open, even if you think your next presentation will go a bit more smoothly. You should always, keep the options open.
I'll get his name. Okay. This is why you practice, and this is why you go. This is why you go to the bank that's not going to give you the money, and the next bank is not going to give you the money. Little Lucinda, to her credit, and you do the same thing with when she was doing it with Big Six accounting firms. She went to all the Big Six accounting firms outside Phoenix, Arizona, and then she went to the second tier. And then she went to the Big Six accounting firm in Phoenix, Arizona. She couldn't get an accounting firm to represent her, even with a dynamite board and me as chairman. And so I had to step in, and I took her to John Golish, who's the managing partner for the Los Angeles office of Arthur Andersen at the time. And they took it. I saw him. But, I mean, when they met, and Lucinda must have given 30 presentations to accounting firms. But I mean, her neck used to turn red, her ears used to turn red, and she looked 12 years old. And I mean, even with me as her chairman, so I stepped in. I figured that she'd gotten beaten up enough, and so but she raised a lot of money without ever seeing a fucking banker, and so that helped her believe that she didn't need to meet these people, and she raised a lot of money without meeting these guys because she was that good on the phone, and she said. It's a long way. We're really conserving our budget for travel expenses, was really true. So for me to come to New York, it's really, I'm in Phoenix and da-da-da. And the bankers understood. They like that. That she's not pissing money down a rat hole, flying to New York, seeing a bunch of banks. And plus the fact she could interview a lot more people on the phone than she could ever. And then when she got really good at it. But this is why you practice, because,
Question
you're
about
not very good at it.
Question about this little training. When you, obviously I felt that he was more asking a confrontational question and maybe he was not so
much. Yeah, well, I mean, his German heritage is coming out because the German the presentation I've been in, the banks do. And once they think that they've got you on the run, once they think that you're at the Maginot Line, then they keep on battering you until and they do. That's
So this is a normal approach where they okay.
Look, I think
it was quite friendly.
I did
stuff like that. Yeah.
You were too obsessed. You were like, there is two approaches to it. Either I'm just going to sit back and let you talk, and I'm thinking what I now said, okay, and I'm thinking at the end of the conversation, what a waste of time. Or I'm trying to establish the facts, and of course, if I feel that you're actually not telling me the truth completely, but you try to make it sound better than it is, then I try to establish the facts.
That's totally okay. My question to Dan was whether when he feels that there's not an instant or growing connection between the banker you're talking to, should you go on and try to convince him that there will be a good relationship, or then do you decide, well, we will never be?
Every situation is different. You know, I came here with the idea to present the opportunity to you, that our board, we're going to do a lot of deals in the next, 12 to 48 months, and we're looking for somebody we can work with. Some of the questions you asked, which are obviously legitimate, we don't have answers to at this time. We don't have answers to. Right now, we're looking for potentially the right mix, the right fit with 2 or 3 financial institutions. And if you say, well, perhaps ABC Bank's not right fit for us, most of the time they'll say, oh no, we're not saying that, because they don't want to shove the business out the door. But even if he thinks you're an idiot, he won't tell you that. He'll put, you may put it on the file, forget about it. Now they may put your name on a list in case you go with some of the other branches. Don't waste your time, which you're not supposed to do. But anyway, I'm sure they still do it. So, okay.
Would you mind giving us the same presentation with Stefan?
Yeah, well, we do. We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. Don't worry. Okay. So now we know more or less what not how to do it, how not to do it. Okay. So now we're going to go through some stuff, and then we'll do it again later today and again tomorrow. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So we did them. We get the money. I will tell you.
Maybe later on.
Okay, second role play. We're going to do this role play before we go to lunch. Okay, now we're going to do a deal. We're going to do your deal, your individual deal. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to have Robert, the bank. In fact, you just move out, so you don't have to move the chair. So you just face each other. You move out. Okay. And I'm going to set up the scenario. You've already sent him a dream team. He likes the dream team. He likes the government guarantee part of it. He even likes the long-term part of it. Okay, he likes the stuff I didn't necessarily like, but he liked it. And he's in the lending mode, and he's done government deals before. Okay.
Shall I bring him before the role play up to speed about the deal?
Oh yeah, you're going to have. I'm sure you got it. You got to bring him.
Because he knows nothing.
Okay, yeah. You sent it. What he's about to tell you, he sent you in a one-page memo.
Genau,
okay.
Also das ist eine Projektentwicklung. Ich habe ein LOI mit dem Projekt.
Not everybody speaks German, so you have to speak English.
Okay. So it's a project development. The German project development company is building 178 residential units for the American military, and rented by or let to the German government for 10 years. 2 5-year options to extend this, and I can buy this for a factor of 10.67, and I get the properties turnkey. So I just have the LOI saying I buy those for a factor of 10.67. That means 33 million, and turnkey in 3 stages. That's the deal.
Okay. And how do you know you won't exceed the turnkey price? You will exceed it.
We are now starting to roll by or are these questions up front? You to understand this?
You go through the one.
No, it's just I sent you the things. I buy it for 33 million.
Yeah.
You have the rental income. That's 3.1 million.
Yeah.
The factor of 10.67.
Yeah.
It's 180 or it's 178 residential units.
Yeah.
And I want to buy and I want to approach you.
Yeah.
To get a finance.
Yeah. And I don't remember how much equity you were offering for this deal.
We are now starting to roll back, right?
I'm already.
Okay, great. So, thank you, Mr. Becker, and I present you the one-pager of the project, which is very rare in the German market, as you probably know. And what I would like to do with this, we would like to set up the financing with the institute. And as you probably did your first valuation, your first numbers on this, you're very comfortable with this deal, and yeah, I think so too. And I would like, for the acquisition cost and a little bit of security, I would like the 33 purchase price financed, and in addition to that, the acquisition cost of 7%.
So we were not asking for 33 million, but for
It's 35.6.
and to whom do the acquisition costs go?
Sorry.
Who will get the acquisition costs?
It's within the financing, and we set up the financing after the contract is signed. When we have this deal done, we get the money as normal financing from you.
Yeah, but they say the costs are 33 million. You
Yes.
want 35.6 million.
Yes.
Where do the 2.6 million go to?
So the acquisition cost, it's a notary, it's due diligence, it's loan to cost. It's not
That's too much, I think, but you can.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Just roughly calculate. If you take, let's say, 30, it's a factor of 12. You have to finance with a 10-year state contract. It's unbelievable. The other institutes lick their fingers to this deal.
Maybe. Well, how much equity did you offer? Did you want 100% finance?
Yes.
Or more than 100%? Oh, 100%.
Yes.
That's nice. Okay, how can you think you won't exaggerate the turnkey costs?
This rough spoken, it's not my problem, because I get this residential units turnkey from the project developer.
Yeah, but the project developer will exceed the costs.
Yeah, I don't care. I have the contract buying this for this. If he can't manage the construction costs, it's not my problem.
Okay. We will start financing when everything is ready.
Absolutely. Also turnkey heißt schlüsselfertig. Ich kaufe.
Okay. So you're not investing in the building up.
No. You can, in addition to it, you can generate some money. I'm glad to hand you over maybe to the project developer, because when you are in the financing of the purchase of the ready-built properties, maybe you're fine speaking to the project developer. We're still comparing some offers to get there.
How long will the US military stay?
As they now write in the newspapers, they will stay there, I think, for 10 years. You never know, and they will extend it. So we are sure, well, today we're sure that they would stay 10 years. But I'm not too sure, but they say, I don't know what they do. Maybe tomorrow they say.
Where is it?
But we remember this: we have the state guarantee for 10 years. Even if everyone leaves and the properties are empty, the money flows from the government. We have the
for 10 years.
For 10 years, yes.
But in 10 years we have the property.
Okay. They are empty. We get it back, and we can rent them out again for €4 a square meter at 24,000 square meters. You can calculate this.
Where is it situated? So
it's near Nuremberg.
Near is how far?
Let's say 30 kilometers.
30 kilometers.
Yeah.
So out in the province somewhere. Or
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because we have to be near somewhere the place for the soldiers. They can't roll their tanks through Nuremberg.
Good. Just like old times.
They start World War III, yeah? Preparing for it.
Okay. And so you're paying. How much range is included? How big is the area where this is erected?
I'm not very sure if this is important to you. I can give you the number, but as you say, it's double family houses. So imagine double family house with a little garden around it. So I don't exact the number. I can
Semi-detached house.
Sorry.
Semi-detached house.
Okay.
And the ground is included, so it's
Yeah.
full property.
Yeah, I get the turnkey property in 3 stages.
And what's about infrastructure, like markets around and everything they need?
Yeah, certainly. To that point, there are living people already.
Yeah.
So they are just adding a new area in Neubaugebiet, a new built area there, and
So-
they have
so-
bakery. They have all the shops and so on. This is, whole infrastructure is available.
Mhm. Well, don't you think you paid quite much per square meter?
No. What do you think so?
Well, it will be about 1,100, 200, 400, 1,400 euro per square meter of housing. It's very expensive.
Yeah, but I suggest to see not the squares, the price per square meter, but the deal saying from the rental perspective.
I see the problem that you have real costs of about 1,000 euro maybe per square meter, and that you have the problem if the government, the US military will turn away, that you will have a problem of selling these 178 units or renting them for other people when there are no people.
Okay, we consider this as well. Yes, maybe this can be sure, but we considered the second scenario. If you, for example, don't feel comfortable with that area and all the concerns you are approaching here, there's this scenario. As you know, there were some deals around a couple of years ago. Same situation, government contract. Building those little residential units, and they sold each and every unit to the private to private investors, and they see it for 10 years as a pension or retirement plan on a retirement instrument, and this is one scenario we are thinking to as well. So we have the one long-term buy and hold strategy, and flipping around shortly after that. So there's a real profit, and there's where the real music is in. Imagine this, we buy it for a factor of 10.6 or 10.7, as I said. And our studies say that we can put it in the market, as you probably know, for a factor of roundabout today 16.6. That means we have in total an equity generated between 10.6 and 16.5, let's say, to round it up, 6 annual rental income. That means 18 million deducted by 20 million cost for the whole selling process. That means we can generate 16 million equity, and you get your money back, your initial money back we loan from you after 2 years.
Well, I have 3 approaches, 3 things show up to me. The first thing is we want to have some kind of equity. I don't think it's possible to finance 107% out there by this cost structure and this structure of the renting. So, as I just calculated,
in either scenarios, 1 or 2.
Yeah,
Or both scenarios.
just by stepping in. You have
That's
about,
interesting because all the other banks are very, very happy to look at the numbers. Okay, it's
nice for them.
Yeah.
You have here about 10 euros per square meter of monthly rent.
Mm-hmm.
It's too high for the area. There's no equity.
And today, I agree. Today,
Yeah.
the market,
And if
the rental value
if
is
they leave, it will be very much below.
after 10 years probably. We consider it.
Yeah. So if you can set up some equity to compensate the too high price per square meter and too high rent per square meter, a little bit for our risk, which
I understand. I understand your approach.
Another idea could be if you put some renewable energy on the roofs. we have this in other
Are you linked
projects.
to any renewable energy
We have
development?
we have this in other projects.
Okay.
Other guys come up and they say they build such kind of houses with a special roof. They can enable anybody who buys the house, also in 10 years, to build up own equity to be able to buy it. So you add value on top, which you have now not in the system, and this can create equity.
This is good, I think, for scenario 2. Maybe you can forward some data information about this. I let my guys do the numbers on that. It sounds interesting. Maybe you should consider one thought about this, because we have so much equity in it. The moment we sign and we take it over, you have some.
Where is the equity? I didn't see.
Yeah, we buy, definitely, we buy below market. We buy below market to the point we get this.
Yeah.
We are absolutely buying below market. And there I have plenty of room, so I think with this, the structural financing 107%, I'd be glad to hear your offer. Just put a little bit more margin in it, just come across with your margin increase and to make this done.
So you think there's no real equity you can raise for the project?
I could easily, but why should I? The deal is great.
Okay. So what we can do is, if you're interested in such an idea of renewables, but I cannot come to you with a business idea on your project, so I can pass you a sheet where you can easily calculate about this and find something. So you add equity, real equity, and then you should think whether you don't really want to add equity in real money, because I think the risks would be too high for our bank.
Even with a higher margin.
Yes.
Just shoot for the moon, imagine there's no limit, just say what was the possible margin to calculate the risk with a 107% financing.
It's like a colleague of mine always says, we look at the equity and at the real estates and say this has to be secure for the money we lend, and then the cash flow has to be there to be able to finance this. And these are not the two reasons we need to give you the money, but they are the reasons which have to be fulfilled, of course, first, before we can think of giving you the money. And so adding any margin will not provide from paying too much, from you paying too much, from our view, or our point of view of the risks of the project, too much for the project, and having inside too many risks after 10 years or even before.
Okay, let's sum it up then. Thanks for the time we spent. I think you sent over the information about scenario 2. I'm glad to look at this. Sounds interesting, but my personal preference is scenario number 1. So I think you may speak to your guys, your committee, and consider the possibilities to get this 107% financing done. And maybe we should speak again next week.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Very good. Auf Wiedersehen. Okay, now, 2 things. Number 1, I would have never come up with scenario 2 to a banker. You're just going to confuse him. And
Okay.
even though he's Mr. Diploma there, confused.
Okay.
Number 2, he approached his question vis-a-vis the deal from a different end of the continuum than I did. Now I'm going to tell you what I saw with the deal. Okay. Number 1, he does not have the property lined up. He doesn't have a deal. There is no deal. There is no government contract. There is no contract with the builder, the developer. There's fuck all nothing.
Yeah.
He needs a piece of paper from somebody like me or a guy with money to say, so then he can get the government contract, to sign the government contract, so then he can get the developer to sign the contract, which I didn't go down that route, but I thought that the developers charged too much money too. I didn't know how much money because I'm not familiar with the German markets. Okay, but so it's a chicken and the egg. Without the government contract, this deal is nothing. To get the government contract, he has to say somebody is willing to seriously consider subject to due diligence, that he will finance it personally or finance it through a group of other financial institutions. A bank is never going to lend on anything like that, never. So you assume that he had the government contract, which is right, which a banker would.
As you said, we will have to pay when everything is built.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, implied there's the contract.
Yeah,
with the
but
government,
there isn't any.
Yeah.
There wasn't any. And the 100% financing in this marketplace on an overvalued property is never going to happen.
So, is it actually true that the developer does not want to have any payment in stages, but he only wants to be paid once everything is turnkey ready? So he's going to finance the whole deal himself.
We have yes, we have the LOI on this. Yes.
Then something
It's
wrong.
risky for
Yeah,
anyone.
something. Yeah.
He pays the construction company in stages, and
Yeah,
we
but
take.
when-
Yeah, but where does his equity come from to pay the constructor 33 million or the 30 million in
It's his
in
problem. And you know,
No, it's not his problem. It's your problem.
costs? Yeah,
It's your problem. It's
I
not
think-
his problem.
I think to say it's not my problem is also quite difficult because you are there, the banker wants you to take responsibility. You can't say it's not my problem because, of course, if I borrow 107% from the bank on non-recourse basis, I can say to everything it's not my problem. It's either the bank's problem or the developer's problem.
Yeah. And Lucinda Burke used to finance 100% of her deals, and then she'd refinance them to 120%, and then she'd refinance them again, it'd be 140%. But I mean, but this was a property that was already built, already producing cash flow, had a history of 5, 10, 15, 20 years, not something that had yet to be built.
Yeah.
But I mean, his challenge is that none of these pieces of paper are bona fide contracts yet. You know, we got an LOI, which an LOI means fuck all. You know, it's like a memorandum of understanding means fuck all. A letter of understanding means fuck all. None of these things mean anything. I mean, even a contract, depending on how it's written, may mean fuck all. So I mean, he's got a tough deal. Plus, you know, if it is paying more than it should be, that means the developer. I'll build shit, and I'm not a builder if I can get 200% more than I should be getting paid. You know, that way I keep my contractors busy, and it's bad time right now, and I'm approached with deals like that all the time. You know, I've got a deal in Arizona now where the developer wants to develop $1 million or $2 million houses in a suburb of Scottsdale, Arizona. And he's willing to take less margin just to keep his business going, just to keep his 300 carpenters and plumbers and everybody busy, because right now it's slow. And he's willing to take a hit on one thing, but if he was going to charge me 170% for what it's worth, I haven't gotten that far because I wasn't interested. But if in fact what Robert is saying is true, you're going to even have a harder time financing it, because the bank's going to drill down and want to know how much over.
It has to be discussed how much ground you get,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how much is the price per square meter ground, and how much is the price for square meter housing.
it's okay though. I can step down anytime, but I can shoot for 107, and then they go, no, and then we land at 95 or so.
Yeah, but what if it's only worth 60% to finance it?
Then they can convince me to that.
No. You have to know what the real costs are. You have to know what the real development costs are. It's not the developer's problem; it's your problem. Because I mean, with an LOI, you can put anything in an LOI. It's like you said that you got the Dutch guys to give you a letter. Wishy-washy letter didn't mean shit, right? But the LOI the guy gave you doesn't mean shit.